I'm Pamela Portnoy.
I'm Alexa Marie Anderson.
And no one's okay.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Welcome. We're here.
Here we are.
Movie night.
Movie night, yes.
Movie night.
This week's movie is Collateral Beauty. It was my suggestion. I made Pam watch Collateral Beauty.
As if I wasn't crying enough during quarantine.
I know. Pam hates my suggestions. She's like, why do you make me feel things? That's not fair.
I feel too much already.
No
Maybe watch Collateral Beauty.
No pun intended. I thought it was a beautiful film.
I appreciated it.
Okay.
Introduce it. Go for it.
Okay, but hold that thought because I want to hear what you're going to say. All right, Collateral Beauty came out in 2016. Is about retreating from life after a tragedy. A man questions the universe by writing to love, time, and death. Receiving unexpected answers, he begins to see how these things interlock and how even loss can reveal moments of meaning and beauty. Directed by David Frankel and written by Alan Loeb. Will Smith plays Howard. Edward Norton plays Whit.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know why I wanted to say Wyatt so bad. My brain had to it glitched.
Wyatt's a cool name.
It is a cool name. I don't know. I looked at that and I was like,
but it's
Wyatt,
not who Edward Norton plays.
I was like, but it's not that. It's Whit. Okay, here we go. We're going again. Will Smith plays Howard. Edward Norton plays Whit.
I'm keeping that.
Great. Kate Winslet plays Claire. Michael Peña plays Simon. Helen Mirren plays Bridget. Naomie Harris plays Madeline. Keira Knightley plays Amy. And Jacob Latimore plays Rafi.
Woo!
We made it. Thank you.
When Alexa introduces movies, it really only takes her one or two times, whereas when I introduce movies, it takes me about 13 to 15 times, which is probably why I liked our next week's movie, but we'll get into that.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. What were you going to say about it? I want to hear what your thoughts about this film.
I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I thought it was, I thought the themes were beautiful. I thought the acting was very good. I saw the twists coming. I will say that.
Yes. Yeah. It's not super, it's a very feel-good film.
No, it's not a feel-good film. It's a feel-bad film.
I feel like, okay. Yes, but it's a good sad, though. It's a good, in the end is good, Pam. Come on.
It ends well. We write spoiler alert in the comments of our podcast description, so I don't know why I feel the need to bring this up. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Did you see the end coming though? Is that what you're gonna say?
I think the problem I had with it was that they were trying to do two different twists. And I saw both of them coming.
All right, fine.
And I think it's because they were trying to do two instead of one.
I can see that. I see that.
One twist being the marriage between Howard and Madeline. Madeline?
I don't know.
I know a Madeline. Well,
it's probably Madeline.
It depends, actually. I know a Madeline that spells it differently. But anyway, okay, we're getting off track. You guys, full disclosure, before we hopped on this podcast an hour ago, we had some drinks and we got emotional. So
yeah, we
that's where our head is at, and we'll probably dive into that into the Are You Okay section.
Yeah, we had a full blown therapy session. It's fine,
and we'll share it with you at the end. Yeah. One twist was the marriage between Will Smith's character and Naomie Harris's character. It felt like they were trying to make it a twist, but it was too obvious because right off the bat, she shows him the note that he wrote to her with, "If only we could be strangers again."
Yeah.
And then it's they showed it again. I'm like, wait, they're trying to make this a twist? It's very obvious that they are that they were married.
Maybe it's because I kind of like to know things before they happen. Sometimes it makes it more exciting. I don't know, for me, because I like to know. I'm like, oh.
So you knew as well. Like, you experienced it before the actual reveal.
I had a hunch. I had like a hunch. But then when the reveal happened, I was so happy.
No!
I was like, oh my God. Sorry. All right.
Why are you apologizing? No, it's I totally see why you picked this movie, and it was really tackling some beautiful themes.
Yes.
I think that irritated me because they were hitting me over the head with the twist.
All right, fine.
I mean, what did you think when you first saw it? You had a hunch?
I had a hunch, but I just love, I mean, I think I watch movies with and I don't mean to I mean, first of all, it depends on what headspace I'm in when I'm watching a film, but I tend to watch a lot of films with a very carefree attitude. Mm-hmm. I'm just let it entertain me. Like, let me just go on the journey of said film. Like, I don't really judge it all too much the first time I watch a film. So I first watched this film. I saw it in theaters when it first came out, and I really just let it take me. And I honestly, this was a very, I vividly remember being very, I don't know, what's a good word to use? I was just very jazzed about
which
this
part
film.
made you jazzed?
I don't know. I just thought it was very lovely, and I loved the journey of Howard, and I loved the three characters, the love, time, and death, and what they stood for in the film, and then also them as people, being these actors and doing this so-called job. I don't know. I just really felt like it was it was something I'd never really seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the second twist when it's revealed that the actors who were supposed to be playing love, time, and death were revealed to actually be love, time, and death, and that they were orchestrating the whole thing the whole time?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I love that twist so much, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I felt like it was necessary to have that twist, and that's why I saw it coming, because I felt like what Edward Norton's character did and what Michael Peña's character did and what Kate Winslet's character did was so epically shitty that they had to make that the twist to save it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I felt like it, yes. And that's why I feel like I didn't love it, because I feel like it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. For me, that twist was I still saw it coming, but it was more surprising to me than the marriage between Will Smith and Naomie Harris.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was more surprising. I kind of was just I don't know. Yeah. I understand what you're saying by Kate Winslet and
it was horrible
Edward Norton.
They did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I say horrible weird?
Horrible. It's like a New England accent or something.
Who knows?
Use it in something. Horrible. Could be a choice.
Horrible.
I like it. I have an aunt that says horrible, actually. She lives in Virginia.
I don't know where I get. I know I say some words differently.
It's all good. Yeah, no, it was shitty. It was a shitty thing.
But I was trying to put myself in their shoes.
Yeah.
And I can empathize with their
I think they were really worried about him. I think it comes from a place of
no, I think it came from a place of they needed money.
I don't know. I think Kate Winslet's character really was fucking worried.
Sure.
Okay, fine. Let's ask her. Let's get her on the phone.
I mean, I feel like I don't know. No, this is just coming from the perspective of someone who's seen this movie once. But I don't know, if you really care about someone and you're concerned about them in their grieving process.
But maybe they thought that this would actually help.
I think I'm going to set them up to make them out to be crazy so that they hand over the control of this company.
Okay, but do you think...
No.
Okay, but.
No.
No, it's hard.
And she didn't do that because she's worried about him.
Well, she does have a moment, though, where
I think they all had very...
Well, but you also have to take into account their own struggles.
Totally. They had their own reasons, right? Yes. And each of them were very valid.
I think they care. I think they did care. I think they do care about Howard. I think they also had their own agendas, obviously. And that's why they did what they did in a very interesting, theatrical, artistic way, which I enjoyed to watch, just saying.
No, I enjoy. There's so many things I did like about it, which I will get into.
Yeah, but you also have to take into account, their agendas. I mean, one of the characters, they revealed that he
is sick.
I was gonna say cancer, but I don't. Is it cancer? I don't even.
It is. I think it's cancer. Yeah,
it is cancer. Yeah, they revealed that, and he has kids, and so there are underlying issues here, which is, and yeah.
Yes, but they didn't do it all from the perspective of, oh, we're just concerned about you. No.
Right. Obviously not. I think they were coming from their own places. They were coming from their own. I mean, here's the thing. Inherently as humans, we all put ourselves first, correct?
Yeah.
Totally. But I don't think it's black and white. I think they still care. Still cared about him.
I think that's like one thing that the movie did. One of the many things that the movie did effectively was that it actually did get me to think about that. I'm like, oh, what kind of horrific shit am I capable? Horrible. It's horrible. What am I capable of doing in dire circumstances? And I think that it's a think piece, the movie, and I think that it definitely did that effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why I was so jazzed about it, if you will. It was so unique to what I had, any movie I'd previously seen. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you say like, it's a think piece. And I think that's why I thought it was so beautiful, is because I go in with this carefree attitude. And if a movie can really get me to think, I think that makes it a beautiful piece to me. I'm not too heady about it. I think I'm more critical on films that don't make me think and are pretty just straightforward. They could be flawless, but if they didn't make me think about anything in my personal life, to me, it's not a great film. Yeah. I have to stop saying, does that make sense? Like, I know how to make sense.
You do make sense.
I know. That's a bad habit of mine. I'm sure there's other people that can relate to that. I always say that. Does that make sense? Like, of course I make sense. I need to shut the fuck up.
Everyone has a bad habit.
I know.
And it all comes from I don't know. Why do you think you say that?
I think it's just because it comes from how I grew up and always feeling like I was wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. Always feeling like I wasn't, never had the right answer.
So a lot of people say you get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's an insecurity thing.
It's making sure that you still have your audience.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good way to put it.
What else?
How did you feel about, I'm sure you would probably relate to this because Keira Knightley's character, she doesn't want to do it at first. She's very rebellious towards the idea. And I wonder, I don't know, through her character. I mean, obviously we find out, obviously she ends up doing it. She's the only one that kind of voices her opinion on the matter.
That's an interesting question. And I think it relates to the other thing I liked about the movie was not only did they play the roles of time, love, and death, but they also were those things. Mm-hmm. And just by default, not only did they confront Howard's character as these three ideas, but they confronted every character that they came in contact with these three ideas. So that, Kate Winslet's character was dealing with, her biological clock. And so she had a relationship with a character that represented time. Mm-hmm. Michael Peña was sick, so he was talking to the character of death. And Edward Norton's character was talking to Keira Knightley's character, who was Love, and he was like falling in love with her.
Yeah.
And I think I related to her in not wanting to do it, but I think that was planned, because if she hadn't done that, I don't think that Edward Norton's character would have started falling in love with her.
I agree.
I think it was all premeditated and very, I think that's the triumph of the writing, was that everything was very intentional.
Yeah, everything is very intentional, and every character gets something out of it. And it's a huge, I mean, it's kind of one of those films where it's really an ensemble piece, which I always really enjoy. Mm-hmm. Great ensemble acting. And I think this is one of those films. I don't know if you agree, but I
totally.
Yeah, I would say that for sure. Yeah, it makes it really for a very exciting story when you have a great ensemble of characters and how they're all linked, how their lives can all be linked, and what they learn from each other. I just think that's fascinating because it's so telling of how we go through our everyday lives. Like, yes, we're the quote unquote leading character of our own lives, but there's so many other key players. And I think it's really fascinating to see it on the screen.
Yeah. Do you ever think about that? Like what your movie would look like?
My movie would be Shit Show, the movie.
Like, I really wonder if I was a hero or an anti-hero or villain. Like, what?
You know what's interesting? This is like kind of going off topic, but we did this, now that you're mentioning hero and villain and all that stuff, we did this like type exercise in my acting class. We were looking at people's headshots, and someone notated on mine, she looks like she would start out the hero and end the villain.
That's a very interesting observation.
And I was like, interesting.
I don't know if I agree with that at all.
I was like, that's very interesting, but like also, I don't know. I've never even heard that before. And also, can we make a film about that? Because sounds fun.
Did they say why?
No, didn't say why. And it's anonymous. I don't even know who said it. But I just thought it was really fascinating.
I think they should have been able to explain themselves.
There's a survey.
Yeah, but it would be helpful if they
Well, I just think it's funny because I obviously not in the same way. I don't think I'm a villain, but I think it's interesting because in a lot of my relationships, I think when people first meet me, they like see one thing. They're like, oh, she's like super sweet and down to earth and blah, blah, blah. And then when you really get to know me, you kind of see my fiery side come out. So that's how I correlated that. But I would correlate myself to that notation. But
that's really funny because I have like the opposite a lot of the time. I cannot tell you how many good friends of mine have said to me, because I usually get pretty slow starts to friendships. And I've had countless people say to me, I thought you were a bitch. Just by watching you, seeing you interact with people, I thought you would be so cold and I thought you would be such a bitch. And then I got to know you and you're not that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is it about me that makes you think? I think it's because I have resting whatever bitch face. I take offense to that term, but when my face is relaxed, I look angry.
I get that. I mean, I've gotten that a couple times. I've gotten you're intimidating before, but most of the time with people that I've had I've actually spent time with, a slow, like you said, your friendship starts slow, and I would agree with that. Mine kind of do too. When I begin friendships with people, I think first impressions are completely different than how you start a friendship, I guess. I feel like there's two different, a first impression, I think someone might say something different about me, but in terms of starting a friendship with someone, I've heard you're really sweet and fun. And then you're still sweet and fun, but I find out that you have this very fiery side to you, you're not afraid to say because once I get to know you, I have a certain rapport, you and I have a certain rapport, I'm not afraid to say what I think. You know what I'm saying? But obviously I tread lightly with people that I don't have a certain rapport with. So I think it's just interesting. But yeah.
What did you think of me when you first met me?
I don't know. I wouldn't say I thought you were a bitch, but I also really related to you as a human. mean, we worked together, and I felt like we had similar demeanors, and I think that's why I like was drawn to you. I didn't think you were cold. I just thought you were more reserved.
Yeah.
I didn't think, but I also like know that vibe because I feel like I've given it off many a time. So I think maybe I was a little bit more intuitive than other people were to that kind of behavior. So I didn't think you were cold. I just thought you were a little bit more reserved. And yeah.
Yeah. When I met you, I remember thinking you were super cool and like friendly, and like everything just rolled off your shoulders. But like super upbeat and like fun and like friendly. Like everyone likes her. Must be nice.
But it's not true, Pam. Because when you peel back my layers, I'm like an onion. Oh, what is that from? What is that from? Is that from Shrek or something?
The layer thing?
Yeah, like I'm an onion. I don't even know.
I don't know why I just thought of Eliza because we haven't quoted Eliza in a while.
Oh, we have not.
I don't think that's from her.
No, it's not, but it sounds like something she would say. But no, I think it's funny that you say that because I think people think that and then they think they figured me out. And then when they get to know me more and they're like, and then something happens and I'm like a little bit more aggressive, they're like completely, and some people can handle it and some people can't. They're like, what? But you clearly can handle it.
I haven't had it like that much experience with you, like.
Yeah, but I also feel like you're a person that would understand that type of personality. Like there's a lot of people that are super, like, I don't want to say, I don't understand, like are just offended easily. Like you wouldn't be offended. Like you wouldn't be offended because.
Oh, so you've probably done it and I didn't notice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I probably said something to you and you're like, yeah, that's probably right. Or like, yeah, huh. But like if I say that to someone who's super sensitive, I don't want to say super sensitive because.
I think it's the opposite because I'm super sensitive. And so I relate your sensitivity, which comes off as a little fiery, as sensitivity on my level, so it's normalcy, whereas people who are not that sensitive, it would be abnormal to them.
Yes, I see what you're saying. Yes.
Does that make any sense?
No, I understand what you're saying. Well, because you understand that when I get that way, it's because I care.
Because you and I will dissect a look for like an hour.
Yeah, we will. No, I can't.
One phrase will be an evening dinner discussion.
Yep, it's all good. It's all good. It's how we roll. No, but I think in terms of like, I feel like when I'm because I'm a very passionate person. Like, do you remember that one time I was talking to a friend of ours at the bridal store and you were like, she's not yelling at you. She's just really passionate.
I honestly am forgetting this.
You were washing, if this jogs your memory at all, you were washing champagne glasses.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to her about an issue that she had brought up to me.
Oh, yeah.
And I was giving her personal advice. And you were like, she's not yelling at you. She's just
I know,
really...
people get very, like, I think people are too... It's sensitive in the other way.
Right. Exactly. I know exactly.
There are two different forms of sensitive.
They think that I'm being judgy or I'm being harsh or critical of them, but I'm really just trying to be helpful. And Shane and I have even talked about this because I think I just maybe need to be better at articulating as well. But I just get so overwhelmed with like, and I think I've even done this with you and vice versa. But like,
I know I've definitely done it to you where I've taken on a problem you handed me and I would get, I remember specifically, I forgot what the problem was. I got amped about it and you started crying because you thought I was yelling at you and I wasn't. I was pissed at the other person in the equation.
Yeah.
And you were like, don't yell. I'm like, I'm not. I'm mad at them.
No, I know. And it's so funny because like, I think I remember what time you're talking about. And that was
I don't even remember what it was about.
That was the first realization that I was like, oh, I do this to people too.
Great.
Like, I do that, and then that's why they would feel upset. So I need to be a better articulator, but it's just the thing is like people don't understand. When I have a good friend, your problems are my problems. Is that healthy? Probably not. But that's my innate feeling about it. So whenever I have a friend that's upset, I'm like just as upset for them and with them. But sometimes it comes off because I'm so, like I don't even know how to explain it. It comes off as I'm being critical, but I'm not.
I know it really finds, shout out Tiffany. It really comes off a lot with her, but she's like, she laughs at it now because when you are in the fold, I am so protective. And if you bring me a problem, almost to my detriment, because I feel like if you know me very well, I feel like there are times where problems won't be brought to me because they know how I'm going to react. And that's my fault. I need to fix that. But like Tiffany, like, will just laugh it off. Like when I get pissed, she's like, you're going to want to rip someone's head off now when I tell you this. And I know that you're going to get aggressive about it. And she finds it like ridiculous. And I'm like, no, I'm going to show up at this person's house. And she's like, I know you will, but we're not going to let that happen.
It's amazing. I love it. No,
I won't hurt anybody, guys, just to clarify. No. I'm just saying I get protective over the people that I love.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. And not everyone reacts the same towards that kind of reaction to things, I guess, reacts towards that reaction. I don't know. But I think it's how my childhood friendships were too. Like all of my friends are very much so like that as well. Like I just even remember like in college, like even talking about boys, like my friend Aileen would be like, I'm going to fucking cut his dick off. Like if he does that too, like we're so aggressive. Like my friend Sabrina's like, I wish he's here so I could punch him in the face. Like I could hear them now. Like they're just so, and they mean it. I remember like boys that like my friends would date and then they'd come around and we like would be awful to them. Like we just had each other's back. Like we were just built that way, but not everyone is as passionate as we are.
And it's a lot. And sometimes I need to remember to reel it in because support comes first.
Yes, support.
And sometimes I let my feelings run away with me when I know that like that's probably not what the person needs at the moment. I have gotten a lot better about it, but like I do know that there have been times where it's like, oh, I probably should have just like reined in my feelings and just listened more. So like my goal over the last like couple of years has been to just shut up and listen a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I had to work on that too. And even so now, like when problems arise, like Shannon and I have been working on this, like saying like what we need. Like, I want your advice on this, or like, I don't want your advice. I just want you to listen. Or do you know what I mean? Like we kind of have to like specify at times because what you're gonna get. It's like, if you push the one button, you get this, Alexa. If you push the other button.
Yeah.
So we have to be very communicative in that way. I mean, and sometimes that doesn't happen. And then like,
I mean, I even reached out to you that way last night. I was like, I know what I'm going to do about this, but just hear me out and just tell me you agree.
Yeah. And that honestly, it's helpful for the other party too. Cause I was like, okay, her mind is set. So like, if she says something that I don't like, I'm just not going to like, I even said this to myself. I was like, if I don't agree with what she says, I'm going to like, just be like, okay. Or if like I do, then like, I'm just going to support her and not like give my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like it set me up for how I was going to react to the situation. And I think it comes back to saying, and I think we've said this before, people need to be comfortable enough with asking for what they want.
Yeah.
That's how you get a better response. I don't want to say a better response. That's a lame answer. I just think communication is clearer when you ask for what you want.
And I also was just wondering, like, why did I even need to reach out then if my mind was already made up?
Sometimes you just need to be, I mean, I do that all the time. Like, I want all of my decisions to be justified by other people and validated by other people because I'm crazy. But
I think part of it is the current climate, where it's just like any excuse to interact with someone is great.
You're like, let me ask Alexa this question so I can speak to her. I'm dead.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, sometimes you just need someone to back you up.
It also just, it depends on the mood you're in. Sometimes you're feeling super confident about yourself and your choices and, and sometimes you're not. And sometimes you need someone to just tell you that you're right.
Yeah.
Sometimes, we're human.
Yeah. I don't know how we got on this tangent.
I know. What movie are we talking about?
Collateral Beauty.
See? It's a movie that makes you think. Look where we are now.
Think piece.
Think piece. We did it. You know what's really funny about this film? I believe in 2015, they started talking about cast members, and so a year before. And I think Hugh Jackman, I read this. What am I saying? Hugh Jackman was originally supposed to play Howard.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, which I
could see that.
I love Hugh Jackman, but I'm very happy that Will Smith ended up in the role.
I think he was fantastic in it.
Yeah.
I adore Will Smith. Here's the funny thing that we didn't get into on the Matrix episode. Did you know?
Oh my God.
He was slated to play Neo?
Will Smith?
Yeah, and he turned it down. Can you imagine if the Matrix starred...
that.
Can you imagine if the Matrix starred Will Smith?
It would still be badass. Okay, don't be dissing on Will Smith.
I'm not dissing on Will Smith. I'm a huge Will Smith fan.
It would still be badass. It just would be a different Neo.
I think Keanu is the only Neo.
Okay.
But I love Will Smith.
I think they would have brought two different things to the table.
But isn't that interesting?
It's very interesting. It's very interesting to think about.
Yeah, I can't believe we didn't get into that. But yeah, he turned it down. And I think even in an interview, he even said, and thank God, because it was Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I think he said something along those lines, which is hilarious.
What a guy.
Love Will Smith.
Love Will Smith.
I've been obsessed with Will Smith since Fresh Prince. I grew up watching him, and Pursuit of Happiness gutted me. 7 Pounds gutted me. He picks movies that are supposed to make you cry.
Yeah, but he's so good. Except for Hitch.
Hitch, I was literally just thinking that. I was watching it the other day because
that is
quarantine, and I like watching movies that make me happy, unlike Alexa.
Okay, that's not true. I watch happy movies.
Legend. Collateral Beauty. What are the other ones you've chosen?
Thelma and Louise. I'm not doing so hot. Tootsie.
All right.
There we go. I like happy films. Have I watched any lately? I watched The Apartment the other night.
I haven't seen that. You watch the most obscure films.
That's not obscure. It's a classic. Jack Lemmon. It's a classic.
Not obscure. Old.
I know. I do like old films.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Shirley MacLaine.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That was a feel good for me. I was like, I'm going to watch The Apartment while I eat my... You know what I've been doing lately, which is probably super weird? I've just been eating bowls of whipped cream.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm
with a spoon?
Yep. Sure am.
Not just the finger, the spoon. Yeah. Why don't you just squirt it right into your... That's what she said. You don't just take the bottle and squirt it right into your mouth?
Well, because I could eat more of it. I just do the whole bowl and then I eat it like ice cream, but it's not ice cream, it's whipped cream.
You are living life. I'm jealous.
I really am. Just
You don't put berries in it or anything? No ice cream?
No. Sometimes I will do some strawberries. That's typically what I do. But, I was at Trader Joe's and I just got the whipped cream and didn't get the strawberries, so
live your life, girl.
That's where we're at. I couldn't tell you why I didn't get strawberries. I just didn't. So
I feel really good about this episode.
Yeah, this is a good one. doing great. Did we talk about the film? I don't know what's happening.
Should we go to our Are You Okay segment?
Yeah, I think we should.
Because we're already there, basically.
Yeah, we should. Before we do, Collateral Beauty, you should see it. It's a great film.
It's definitely worth the watch.
Yeah.
You get to watch my doppelganger. I can't believe
I
just said that.
This is your doppelganger. I love it.
I don't think that. I mean, I understand, but like, it's like the biggest compliment, but like, I can joke about it now. Like, don't think I'm being cocky, you guys. I just legitimately... Alexa, how many times have you been around me when someone has said it?
Probably at least 5 times, at the least.
Any new person I meet says it, and I take it as a huge compliment because, I mean, hello, but it's just funny.
We should probably say who we're actually talking about.
Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley. She looks like Keira Knightley.
Biggest compliment ever. But yeah, so I can laugh and say, doppelganger. Doesn't sound conceited at all.
I mean, it's actually the truth, though. Like, it's not like you're saying it and you don't.
Everybody knew that I meet says it. It's crazy.
It's a true story.
But yeah, it's worth the watch. Everyone's really good. It's a great cast, and it's a think piece. Are you okay?
No.
Or did you want to ask me first?
I mean, it already happened, so
all right,
I'm doing it. No, I'm not okay.
Clearly.
Yeah, not okay.
What?
For multiple reasons. Working during a pandemic, anxiety about getting the virus. You saved my life.
You want to talk about that?
Pam legitimately saved my life, guys. I had a friend at my door.
Not a friend.
Well, not a friend. I'm being nice by saying that. I'm being funny. Facetious? I'm being facetious.
Some psychopath was trying to break into Alexa's apartment, and she fucking calls me at 2 a.m.
Because I was
like, save her life.
I was like, the first person I should call is Pam. I just knew you'd be up, and you were. But yeah, it wasn't great. They were trying to get into my front door. Obviously couldn't because it was locked, so that's good. But that's a frightening moment when like someone's trying to open your door and you're like, God, I hope that's locked. I was like,
why didn't you call the police?
I don't know. I think it's a weird thing that I have where like I feel like I'm not like not a bother, but like I'm not really having a crisis. Like I'm always like other people are probably in more danger than I am right now. So I was like not thinking that was because like, okay, so my first idea was like, if I ask this man to leave, he probably will leave, right? Well, he didn't. And so that's when I called you, and you were lovely and called the police and drove over to my apartment like a badass. And everything was okay. He did leave, because
I saw him.
You saw him.
Yeah, I saw him.
I know.
There was no one. He did not. The person I saw run out of your complex did not live in the building, because I've seen most of the people that live in the building. Yeah. And yeah, it was just very clear. And he chased me a little bit when I was driving. And then he ran away and left a burning handkerchief bandana on your stoop, which was really creepy.
Yeah, that was the main thing. Honestly, after like he stopped trying to open the door, that was the thing that I was most scared about, is that he was like burning something in my hallway. And that
I have a theory on why.
On why he was burning something?
Yeah, aside from, I don't think he was necessarily all together in his head. Obviously, if he's trying to break into your place and threatening you and things like that. I think he was trying to lure you out.
Pamela, why would you say that to me?
I'm just saying, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I could see that.
But glad you didn't go out.
No, I definitely wouldn't have. out there.
Wish we had called the cops a little sooner, because I feel like if we did, he would have been caught. But the important thing is that you're safe. And that was crazy.
Yeah.
So how have you been dealing with the aftermath?
I'm definitely better now. I mean, it definitely was a struggle for a little bit to sleep. I think there was like I think it might have been how long ago was that? Was it a week ago?
That was 2 weeks ago. Almost.
2 weeks ago. I think for a full week I slept with the light on in my room. So that was fun. But I'm okay. I mean, I think that the main thing is like he really couldn't have got in here. And I think that's what I had to like keep telling myself, which is why I was able to eventually sleep. But yeah.
And it's good. Like once we did call the police, they did show up in a timely manner.
Oh yeah. They did. They definitely did. They definitely did. And I think it's helpful too that I'm on the second floor. So like there's no window situation happening where like he could have gotten through my windows.
And now we're up in security. So
yes, we're upping security. So it's all good. Yeah, it was definitely frightening. I mean, it's happened to people before. I know it's a thing. I live in LA. Like I'm not an idiot. Yeah, shit happens, but he couldn't get in here. So joke's on him. Good try, sir.
Wow.
Also, I screamed at him. So he's like, well, that bitch is crazy.
What a fucking crazy night, honestly.
Yeah, that was nuts. And I slept on your pull-out couch. That was great. Got like no sleep. You made me.
Because it was uncomfortable?
No.
I know it's uncomfortable. I've slept on that before.
No, not because it's uncomfortable. I just couldn't sleep. But I was like a zombie. You saw me.
I know. I tried to sedate her with like...
Yeah, you tried to sedate me with whiskey, but it did not work. So
not only whiskey, I made you like a hot toddy with like tea. Yeah. I don't know if I used sleepy tea. I think I used sleepy tea.
It was like whiskey. Sleepy tea and whiskey, and I was like still like this, like wide awake, sitting there.
Probably the whiskey, but yeah, we did our best.
We did our best. It happens. Not the first. It won't be the last, but it sucks.
Don't ever fuck with me and my friend's safety, though.
Yeah, you were like not having any of it. I was like, it's gonna be fine. Like, I think he might leave, and you were like, I'm coming over. He's gonna be sorry he ever lived. I was like, oh my god.
I didn't run in unsafely. Let's be real. I showed up with the police, but. Let's just say I was ready. I was ready.
Great. I mean, the guy was like clearly on drugs, but...
No, he was. He was, for sure.
Yeah. I don't think he would have gotten very far anyhow, but, don't want to risk it. It's funny. Oh, I forgot to tell you this, actually. There was another... I talked to a neighbor in my complex who also said that he tried to open her door and she slept with a friend.
The same guy? Did she describe him the way I described him? I don't
think she saw him either. It just was the same night, and I'm assuming it was the same guy.
Probably. And you know what? I think they got him because do you remember when we left later? The police were at a building 2 doors down, and it was like 5 minutes after they left. And he went running in that direction. So he was probably bothering other people too.
What an idiot.
I don't have facts.
I mean,
obviously.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's an idiot. I just like you said, I don't think he was of sound mind.
And yeah, it's not, yeah. But what are you going to do, I guess?
Be safe.
Be safe.
You're not a bother.
Thanks, Pam.
To anybody. I think, I don't mind being called ever. I'm a fucking vampire. I'm awake till like 1 a.m, always.
What did you think when you first heard my voice? Because I know I sound super frazzled.
No, it wasn't when I heard your voice. I knew something was wrong when I saw you calling because you usually go to bed at 11 or 10:30 or 11, and I don't. And I'm like, oh shit, something's off. So I basically knew when I saw your name.
Yeah.
But like, I do wish you, like, I don't know, like, it's so interesting, like the relationship that a lot of people have with the police these days, because there are so many problems with the system right now and always. But like, if it's causing a lot of, like, when there's danger, it causes people to like second guess. Yeah. And like, it sucks.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I was like, I don't even know how to describe why I did. That wasn't my immediate reaction. Even my dad was like, what the heck? Like, next time, like, call 911 right away. And I was like, I know. I think it's a part of my nature too, that I'm like, I can handle it. Like, it's fine. Like, it's going to be great. But also I wanted to say this, because this goes back to The Matrix also. Mm-hmm. Because you were like, would you rather go down the rabbit hole or be, oblivious, I guess. And this is why I say what I said. Because if this man wouldn't have rang my doorbell, because I have a doorbell, don't know why. I actually want to rip it off my door. It's really fucking annoying because not everyone has a doorbell, only me. If this man wouldn't have rang my doorbell, he wouldn't have woke me up, and I actually would have never known he was there.
But like, I don't know. I
would I be scared in my own apartment?
You don't. Okay, I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna say.
He couldn't get in.
You don't. Luckily, he was alone, is what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying, but I also feel like there's no way he would be able to get in here without waking up me and multiple other people in this complex. Right? Because he'd have to break down the freaking door. I'm just saying. Blissfully unaware?
I'm like so the opposite.
I know you are. In some situations, I'm with you. But after being traumatized by this and not being able to sleep, that was my thought. Because I was like, this bitch wouldn't have rang my goddamn doorbell.
He could have knocked.
I wouldn't have heard it. Yeah.
And also, like, he didn't, like, it's a courtesy, like, that he rang the doorbell, Alexa. Like.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I'm like, this man clearly wasn't trying to get in my apartment if he's literally announcing himself, but it's fine. He's like, I'm here. I don't know, whatever. I digress. It's fine. I have a Ring doorbell now. I just set it up. It's going to be great.
We're upping security.
It's going to be fine. We're really upping security come May 13th.
May?
Oh my God. What month are we in?
We're in June.
Sorry. July 13th? Come July 13th, we're upping security. I'm dead. Take me away. I can't.
Oh my God.
Doing great.
Anything else?
That's it. I'm done. Are you okay? That took too long. I have regrets.
We're gonna take a look at that later. Am I okay? No,
you're not.
No one's okay. I was listening to here are a couple of reasons why I'm better than okay.
Okay.
Because we're gonna keep it positive. I was listening to an episode of
positive after that whole spiel.
I was listening to an episode of a podcast that I subscribe to, and they were talking about how no one's okay on it. And they said no one's okay like several times. And this is a podcast that's very well known. And I really look up to, and they were kind of an inspiration to me before we started this. And when they said that multiple times, I got the chills. And I was like, I love hearing that come out of their mouth. And so I like messaged them.
I love it.
I was like so excited. It's so lame. But that made my day. The bar is low for making my day these days. What else? Birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
And
that's exciting.
Quarantine. It's not very exciting because what am I going to do? There's nothing to do. I just miss people. I miss loving on people, hugging people. Yeah. And it sucks because people are being really dumb now. People aren't wearing their masks when they should.
Yeah.
And there's a spike happening, and I'm like a hypochondriac already. So it's just like amped now. So I'm just like anxious all the time. But I think what grounds me is like I've been getting auditions, which has been great. I'm working on the podcast, which has been great. I've been like keeping myself super busy and reading, and I've felt more connected to my friends, I think, because everyone's just looking for this connection. Mm-hmm. And that's beautiful. But I just really miss like hugging on people. And yeah, I'm more, I know you probably do too. I know, you're in a long distance relationship, so you probably feel this all the time. But I know you're also less like physically demonstrative than I am.
Yeah.
So like I need to like hug and kiss people. And it's just like really weird. There was like a 2-month period there that I like didn't touch a human being, and that was crazy. And then a dear person to me was like, you deserve a hug. And I know they were safe and I was safe and it was fine, but it was just like, yeah.
I miss more just like having normal experiences, like just like a normal trip to the grocery store. I'm like, when am I ever going to get to the grocery store and just have a normal experience? I think, and even like with auditioning too, like having to do like the other day, like I got nostalgic because I was like, am I going to ever get to like drive to a studio again to do an audition? Like I was like kind of sad. I was like, oh, like, cause everything's, setting up all my self-tape gadgets and whatnot. And like,
it's such a fucking hassle figuring out the goddamn lighting.
Yeah. Like I have a ring light, but like, that's even a struggle too. Like, I'm like, oh, there's a shot. Like, I don't know. It's a lot of stuff. And I just miss, and I know certain actors actually prefer self-tapes, and I understand
That's
why.
Me. I do.
I don't bode well not in person. I like to be in person.
I like to just let the work speak for itself. I don't like them to see me as a human person.
Oh man.
Just here's the scene and you won't know anything else.
You're like, I'm crazy, but here's the scene and you won't know it.
I'm a nervous wreck, but you can't see it.
Oh my God. No, there's something magical about walking into an audition room for me, and I just really miss it. And yeah, I'm just sad that self-tapes are fine. Self-tapes are totally fine and cool, and I'm so grateful that we get to do them. And I've been very lucky to have been getting auditions during this time. And I think it's a really cool tool, and thank God we have this tool because of what's happening. I miss going. I miss driving there. I miss the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm such a wacko, but there's something magical about the process, I think, that I really like. So I was a little nostalgic. I was like,
I was super nostalgic yesterday and today because I was looking at footage of a short film that I did a while ago, and I was just thinking about the environment of being on set and how much I miss that.
Yeah.
There's a magic. And I've read like the new guidelines for the studios.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so different now.
I did too. And I was kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It is a little.
But we'll get used to it.
And it won't be forever and ever.
I mean,
it's going to be for a long time, but I don't think it'll be forever and ever.
I don't know. It might just be the new normal and we'll get used to it.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because if you think about it, things the way they operated before were kind of very carefree.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. I get that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what what happens. But I think it's also just been tough to keep that, you know, I don't know if you can agree with this, that magical feeling happening with everything that's going on with our, what's the word I'm looking for? Careers, I guess. But yeah, our field, the field we work in. I don't know. Like even just recording this podcast, I'm like, when are we going to get to go in the studio? And
I miss Jason.
Yeah, I was going to say shout out to Jason. Like we miss you.
Shout out to Jason. We miss you so much.
We're really sad we're not in the studio with you right now because it's really fun when we're there. And he adds a whole nother
he's the third.
Like the third person in our podcast. So yeah, we're it's really sad. So yeah, I think about that often. I'm like, I don't think we're ever going to be in a studio again.
We will.
I'll wear a mask. Can we figure out the sound with that? Yeah. So
we're not okay.
We're not okay.
This has been our longest movie night episode, I think, and we didn't talk about the movie.
Didn't talk about the movie, so
it's fine.
Very good.
Thanks for listening, guys. We love you, and we hope you're staying safe. And I know things are opening back up, so this is probably a Debbie Downer, but also, is it realistic? I don't know. Shit's still fucked up.
Don't go to bars.
Wear your mask in public, please.
I'm the worst. We should take that out. Just wear it.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said don't go to bars.
I'm scared to go.
I'm okay with certain restaurants that I call beforehand and see what their protocols are. But other than that, no.
Very good.
That's what I've decided.
All right.
All right.
Boom.
Thanks so much for listening. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all the things. If for some reason you want to see more of us, you can follow us on Instagram at No One's Okay.
And a special thanks to Jordan Ross Weinhold, Sean Moore, Jason Crow, Claire Palmer, Jackson Palmer, Tiffany Haymoff, Shane Rings, James Liddell, and our podcast is recorded at Soundworks Studios.
We can't wait to meet you!